It is 7 p.m., 10 a.m., whatever your time zone is, it's whatever time it is. Hello, Grace. Hello, folks. Hello, hello, hello. Lucy, Becky, the team is here. Melissa's gone to work, so she's tapped out. But the crew is here. Who is excited? Hello, hello, hello. She made sure to tell me about it too, Becky. Hey guys, what's going on? It is Thursday, which means it is time for tea. However, it is Jen's birthday today. So, we have a surprise guest joining us this week. Just going to wait for them to jump in and request. Fingers crossed they have remembered. They have. We are good to go. Let's kick it. Because Shaka's here.
Hello, my darling.
Hey, mate. How you going?
How are you doing?
I am fabulous. I'm really excited. You know, it's been a couple of months since we last had like a little face-to-face. It's been
a
long...
minute.
A lot has happened.
You just keep doing things, my baby.
It's just crazy. So how have you been?
It's been a madness. It has been. I think that's the best way to put it. It's been a madness. You know, I think we've had hello everyone, and we've had like the ups, the downs, the good times, the kind of like meh times. Right now we're on a little bit of a nice cruise. Do you know what I mean? Like we're doing good at the moment. We're doing like, you know, we're content and just finding my joys where I can. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. That is the topic for anyone that's wondering what we're chatting about today. It's finding your joy. So this is going to be a good fun one. So essentially that. It's just trying to figure out what is going to bring you that joy. Is pretty much where you're at, going from day to day, figuring out, okay, what can I do today to get that little...
That's literally it. It's like getting yourself from A to B. Like, I was literally just looking up at what the meaning of the word joy is and stuff, and you know, it's kind of like that beat that just kind of goes past happiness, goes past content and being content. Because you know, a lot of us can be content, and being content is sometimes fine, especially in this pandemic. Being content with what you are doing is absolutely fine. Yeah. But you know, you see these people who's like, oh yeah, oh this and this and this, and it's like, okay, cool, that's your joy, and I know you're trying to be really enthusiastic and help me get to some specific part of joy, but let me get to my own joy. It's all about finding your own and being specific. And that's definitely something that I realized. You know, you kind of end up chasing, I'll say involuntarily chasing other people's type of joy. Do you know what I mean?
You see what makes other people happy and you're like, okay, that could make me happy. So then you're kind of in like a roundabout of
absolutely
figuring out what other people like, and if you I like that too. Yeah.
Especially if you've got like especially if they're like close friends or something. Like I'm a big example of this, even like from at the start of lockdown. I was literally just saying, I said this to Jen actually the other day. It's like, you know, I saw everyone was doing yoga and I was like, yeah, that's going to be me. Yeah, everyone looks like they're losing weight. Everyone's keeping fit. Everyone seems so like stable-minded. Yoga, everyone's doing yoga. Looks like I need to be doing yoga. No, babe, yoga ain't for me. Put it that way. It ain't for me. Like, you know, every now and again, sure. But is it something that's going to like fill me and like make me feel still? And nah, it's not for me. But you know, it's literally just one of those. Like, and you know, it took me weeks, and I was like getting my little sister involved. I was like, "Come on, we're going to do some yoga." I've got a yoga mat, got all these things, and I was like,
"I don't get it."
Why are we doing that? You're chasing other people's joy. Hello, Maisie, my darling. And so yeah, it literally is just all about those things, and then. My sister. Oh, hello everyone. So yeah, it's, you know, you can't be chasing other people's things, and that's kind of like how how things kind of just start building. Because I feel like the more you try to build up in other people's joy and what they are using, the more you're taking bricks away from yourself.
Yeah.
And you need to build yourself before you try to build like somebody else.
Yeah. You should never be building like somebody else. That's just you never going to be able to achieve fully your potential. I think if you're trying to completely emulate someone else, you're never going to feel satisfied with the end product.
And that's the main thing. Hey Jack, it's literally one of those things where I kind of look at it and go, you know, am I content with me before I then start to switch it up to be trying for something else? Be content with yourself first and continue to build forward, rather than go, right, I'm good right now. Oh, let's try. No harm in trying things. Go for it. But if it doesn't bring you the joy that you're expecting, don't be afraid to go, actually, let me find something else. And I think this time of quarantine and lockdown and everything that's going on is so important for everyone to just sit back and go, actually, what is it that will bring me that joy? What will set that fire in your tummy and just just give you that passion and that forward thinking into self-development, growth, and all this kind of thing. And how would you say you would find your job?
I'm in it right now. This is interesting. Hearing you say that, I'm sitting here, I'm in the midst of it. I haven't had any issues with quarantine. I haven't had that thing, because when quarantine got real, the podcast picked up. So I have been literally talking to you guys every week, and then this type, tea time started, and a lot of things and little projects have picked up that I've just been kind of jumping from one thing to another and just keeping myself occupied. But because I'm passionate about what I do, it's not feeling like work. It's not feeling like a drain. It's just filling the hours, which is great, because hey,
honey, there are 24 hours. You need to do something.
And I woke up at 4 a.m. to see you guys on the theatre fans thing the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, cool, I can run on 2 hours. Mate, that was just, it was too much. I was just laughing the whole time.
That is literally, or just to see it in that condensed version of all of us online, I was like, hold on a second. So I was like, whoa. I was just like, madness. Yeah. It was so nice to be back with the girls and just in that space and just knowing, hi Lily, it was kind of seeing how everyone's faces just lit up, and even though we couldn't see everybody else's faces other than our own, there was a certain energy that we were also feeling, that we knew that other people were feeling, that we were like, it's all about that vibration thing and passing it on, innit? And everyone just oh yeah, we're having a good time kind of thing. So it's just, that was a joy for a lot of people to see.
It was just such a good, it was only an hour, holy crap. But I've been talking to, I think I've spoken to nearly everybody but Drew, Athena, and Cassie now. So to see you guys all in one spot, it was kind of just reiterating my love for you guys, because obviously I've formed some bonds with you guys over the time of the podcast. So to see everybody in one place, I was like, oh, God damn it. It just solidified the fact that I need to come and see you guys on stage. And I was like, oh, we need to make this happen. So, but yeah, it's just one of those things. And then this morning I've been working on a project with one of the other girls in one of the other casts. And I woke up this morning and we're doing a singing thing. You know how you wake up and you just think you're going to have a good vocal day?
Yep.
That was me this morning. I woke up and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Did my warm-ups, ran through the song. And you know how you get to that point in the song where you're always like, okay, this is going to tell me. And just did it with no issues. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I filmed it 2 takes, perfect take. And it was like, yes, let's go. And I was just like, let's go. Today is going to be a day.
Yes, that's the thing.
Hey, Taylor, how you going? Yeah, and it's just one of those things, once you get on that, it's like a roller coaster. Once it kind of gets going, it's going to go. You've just got to be ready to jump back on the ride once it stops. because it's never going to continue. You've got to figure out what the next thing is, and next thing is to keep it going.
Absolutely. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like, I mean, I was talking to Jen when I was like, I was having a real long day. And I was like, right, this is, I was like, what? I feel lost, I feel this, da, 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 da. And everyone goes, oh, Shaka, but you've got so many different, like, you've got different eggs in different baskets, which is true. Like, I've literally, obviously, I've got my skincare thing, and I'm studying, and then I'm teaching, and got a new project to let's go. Then I've got all these little things. And I was like, wow, what am I doing? Then I kind of like honed in. I was like, remember why you started a lot of these things. And I think that's where some people slip up, myself included. You know, you forget. You get so then kind of like, you feel like you're getting so like, what's the word? Like, you just feel like you're heavy feel like something's heavy on your shoulders. Yeah. And you just can't, like, you can't stand up straight. And so your head's down rather than looking up. Yeah. And, you know, I think that's also a dancer thing, you know, instead of shoulders, bring your shoulders back. You know? And, you know, it's kind of like embrace what's ahead rather than looking down at your feet. Because if you look down at your feet, at some point, you're going to trip. And you're also going to miss things. Because you don't know, like, it might be, and that's where I'm at, guys. Like, for the last 6 years of my life, I have had my hand in so many different pots. It's ridiculous. I started out in this industry doing tech, so lighting, sound design, and I wanted to be a sound producer. So I was working on like audio recording and that type of thing. So I bought myself my whole setup and everything purely for the fact because I knew that was going to be something I did. But then I realized it was really hard to get into, and I lost interest and went to church and discovered video production, singing, dancing, that type of thing. Went into full-time dance training, which Mum freaked out about. And then everything looped back around to me then being on stage with theatre. And now I'm back breaking down theatre from a technical performance perspective on a podcast, which kind of embraces everything into one. So it's not so much about freaking out about what moment you're in right now. It's knowing that everything happens for a reason. And this is something I'm so passionate about, that every single thing happens for a reason. Like the amount of choices that I had to make to get to this point right here, all it took was for me to give up on the podcast after episode 3 or not continue with this account 12 months ago. Like there's like a lot of things that you just got to keep pushing through, because eventually it's going to come to fruition. You've just got to be ready for it and open to seeing things and ready to accept it. Guys, that's my thing for the day. Like I'm done. Shaka, take it away. You've got 45 minutes left. Oh my. Hi Mary. How you doing, darling? Yeah, it literally is one of those. I'm with you on that 100%. I was on a creative voices industry chat yesterday with all these new grads and all people still at drama school. It was led by my friend Cheyenne, and the guest for the day was Christopher Tendai, who's a friend of mine from home. We went to college together. First boy to break my heart, but it's okay. I everyone was like, don't tell anyone that story. But you know, we inspired each other a lot of the way. Like we kind of just kind of kept on each other's heels, and you know, I saw him going through Erdogan, busting up himself, but still pushing through. And you know, it's one of those things where we've both had moments where like, what's next? Like, what's next? And rather than sometimes just sitting in it, me in particular, rather than me just sitting in, this is good right now. We've got this, and we're doing that. I've gone, what's next? Rather than embracing. And you then miss out on the steps. And when things slow down, you miss out on that feeling of going, boy, that was nice. Yeah. That was I kind of reliving and taking note of all the things that you learned and you gained. And there's always that process, you know, you have to post show blues and whatnot, but then you go back and you kind of analyze your time. But if you also give up on that at that hard point where you feel like it's all shit,
you don't then get to reflect, because every time you
But
reflect on that memory, it's going to be a shit memory for you, because all you remember is why you left that behind and not the feeling afterwards.
literally, and I mean that kind of contemplates, let's say, no, that goes into you know, me and the way that I looked at friendships as well. And you know, there's one job in particular that after we finished, your girl almost quit the industry for good, because I couldn't look back. Like I could no longer see the joy in something that I found joy in.
Do you now use that moment as like a significant moment in time where you look at like, this is where things changed? Yeah, that's where I'm like,
wow. It is literally one of those. I'm like, was I really in that situation? I was like, did someone else's actions get me to that point? I was like, look at me now, B. Look at me now. Stop it. Nah, it gave me a whole different sense of strength and persistence, and kind of acknowledging me and my worth. And I was like, nah, no one's ever gonna make me do that again. You see?
Exactly. You get to that point where you're like, yeah, cool, all right. And then every little challenge that comes at you, you're like, oh yeah, that feels bad, but that's nothing on 2 years ago.
That's the thing. It's almost like what is it that thing that people like created? It's like you can go into a pool and you're like all of a sudden waterproof. Like you just put yourself in that some sort of like cream or plastic thing, but not plastic, I don't know. But like, you know, it's almost like it's not that you become it's not that you all of a sudden become like undefeated and all that, and it's the fact that you have this new set of armor.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? If you've got this new set of armor on your heart, on your shoulders, in your heads, on your feet, so you can walk with pride no matter what. You know, your mind can keep marching forward. It doesn't get stuck in one point. You know, sometimes things from the past then have their ways of triggering back up and whatnot. It happens to all of us, myself included. But, and this is where the like finding joys in friendship has come from for me in particular. When I left secondary school, so I was 30? Is it 30? No, when did we leave secondary school?
I don't know. We've got different things over here. I can't help you on that one.
Got me out here like struggling. So like, you know, you leave at 16 and you start college. And just before I left college, so I had this group of friends all the way throughout when I was in nursery, all the way up until basically after I left college. Just as I was leaving college, to, you know, start training in London and auditioning, the day before my big Arts Ed audition, the group of friends that I had turned on me. And that day made me kind of second guess all friendships from that point. So like, I was like, nah, I don't want no girlfriends, mate. You guys can stay over there about, so even lads, I was like, yeah, some of you are cool, but nah, I'm good. I'm Gucci. Do you know what I mean? But then as time went on, I finished my training in London and I got to my first job. The girl you see now was not the girl who left London. Trust, like, I was just like, wow. And that all stemmed from one of my dearest and best friends, actually, Adam Scown. He was the director and choreographer for Rent. And he was just like, nah, don't let other things weigh you down. He's like, you're good. You love what you're doing. So why are you not emulating that?
Yeah.
You know, and he kind of like put it into my mind. And from that point, you know, I guess trust then started to come. And, you know, joy comes from trust. Joy comes from hope. You know, like joy is so around us. And it's up to us to kind of like pick it from that tree and go, actually, I'm going to just add that bumper sticker. My shoulders feeling the joy today. Oh, my head is feeling the joy today. Ooh, you know, it's just one of those, kind of like taking it and just letting it nourish. Guys, let joy nourish you, you know?
Exactly.
Don't deny joy. Don't you deny yourself the joy, because we really do go through time and, you know, things will things will attempt to take away your joy. Do you know what I mean? But 100%. It's about riding that wave, because joy is at the end of the tunnel. I'm a big fan of saying there's a silver lining. Look for that silver lining. Because
There's
there's a silver
always,
lining, there's light.
yeah, even if you're in that situation where it's shit and no matter where you look, there's no silver lining, I guarantee you hindsight is going to be your best friend because you are going to learn 4 million different lessons from that situation. So literally just keep pushing. Like,
That's it.
and you'll get there eventually. Like, some of you guys might have had it, but like I'm sitting in this spot now where I'm literally sitting under that tree and just be like, okay, what's next? Like, let's try this. Let's do this. When you get into that kind of freight train kind of thing, and I've been doing that for 12 months, guys. Can we just talk about the fact that Ausqueendom turns 1 next week, folks? Like, that's crazy, right? So, like, the fact is you've just got to kind of sit there. It's all about self-awareness. Joy is like knowing what's around you, knowing what situation you're in, figuring out how the situation is going to best benefit you. And if you're not getting anything out of it, you don't need to be there. Get out.
The door.
Please exit.
The door is open to you, babies. Let me put it. It is open. You know, you never have to stay in a situation which is going to bring you down. You know, your mental health and your way of looking at life should be your way of looking at life. Don't, like, as long as you are being kind and you ain't hurting nobody.
Yeah.
Because that's a big point in life. Just don't. Do you? You know,
100%.
find, it is literally stepping into that moment of going, here I am.
Yeah.
Here I am doing. And it follows Shaka's 3 A's. Acknowledge your situation. Accept it. And then advance forwards. Shaka's 3 A's, y'all.
Mate.
Acknowledge, accept, advance. It's a process. And
100%.
in the acknowledgement part, you're like, you experience all the emotions. But that shows that you've got things, and you've got things to understand and know. And my friend's book here has been helping me out big time. If anyone wants it, have a look. And just writing things down. And you get to the point where you're accepting the fact that you once felt that way, but then you're also accepting the fact that you want to change it. And then you get to the part where you can advance forward. The change is happening, and it doesn't have to happen like straight away.
And
but the fact that there is a will, that where there's a will, there's a way.
100%.
So we just start moving, and as soon as you start moving, other things will start happening. Your approach to things will change, and that's okay.
Yeah, and one of the coolest things that I've come across, and this is a really cool saying, guys, is never treat life like an airplane, right? If you're treating life as an airplane and you're afraid to get off the plane, then you're going to be stuck kind of going in between situations that are really going to either confuse you or take you to places you don't want to be. Don't be afraid to jump out of the plane without a parachute. Just jump out and fall into whatever situation you fall into, because it's probably better than the one you're in. Even if it doesn't make sense at the time, literally just jump.
It will teach you so many things. Like, again, I've been doing a lot of these creative voices industry chats because I was one of the first guests, and it's actually quite nice to sit in and listen to stories. And someone else was talking about how, you know, they had a job offer, then they got another, and then they decided on one in particular, went on that one, but then all of a sudden that one got cancelled. And they were like, well, wait. But now, you know, that person then couldn't go back to this first job that they got and go, can I have my job back? Because obviously they've given it away.
Yeah.
And they were like, I just didn't know what to do. I was in this situation where everything was just confusing and I didn't know how to ground myself. Lo and behold, a few weeks later, he gets one of the biggest jobs of his life.
Yeah.
And he's not stopped working since.
Yeah.
There is a time for everything. Everything, what will be for you, will be for you.
Yeah.
And so I guess it's one, and I think I'm living it as well. I remember I finished one job in particular, and when I was kind of in that, I'm going to leave the industry phase, I was talking to my dad, and, you know, my dad is a wonderful man of faith, and I love that You know, I
Yeah.
love my family to pieces and what we kind of stand for. And, you know, he was just like, forwards, you know.
Yeah.
There is something's coming. Lo and behold, it came tenfold. I was
Yeah.
just like, whoop, whoop, whoop. I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes depending on whether or not you're a spiritual person, a religious person, a person who looks up to the universe, whichever way you want to look at it, sometimes just having hope and belief in yourself is sometimes enough to just push the vision forwards.
Yeah. And like, and that's the thing. If you're not looking to the future, you better be looking within, because if you're not doing something to better yourself or advance forward, then you're stuck. And if that's the easiest way for you to understand that, that's the easiest way to understand it. Is if you're not trying to improve yourself or improve your future, you're in a situation you don't need to be in. Simple. And again, guys, I need to do this warning at the start. Shaka and I aren't mental health care professionals. We are just here chatting our own thing. So
just chatting life, B.
We're not giving any advice. You guys do you. But yeah, like, man, life is crazy. Ain't it? Like,
I just look at it and I'm like, wow, you know, there's so many different compartments to our lives.
Yeah.
You just go, okay. You know, and I think there's this thing now of, you know, everyone's evaluating every single thing. Sometimes you just gotta let the things fly. You know, I mean.
And this is what I said. Jen and I
care.
spoke about this last week, is that because we're not going out and experiencing life like we usually are, the littlest things are the things we're focusing on. The things that we usually let slide are the things that we're really honing in on, and that's where I think the detriment kind of is coming from, is that we're trying to change things that really don't need to be changed, like in ourselves, not in the big picture. But like, because there's nothing else going on to take our focus, we're like, cool, we're gonna break ourselves down to the most minuscule level and go from there.
Oh, listen, and that's I think that's where a lot of the scary stuff comes from as well, because people do feel like they're going, well, I've got all this time and I've got all this time to think. Then they get their little chiseling stuff out, and then it's just those. I'm like, baby, we are not rocks. We are already diamonds. You just need to just brush that dirt off. Don't worry about it. Stop chiseling. Chiseling just digs, and you make holes.
Yeah.
You're a hole already. Stop making holes. Just push off the dirt.
Guys, we're dropping dimes today. This is it. We're only halfway through. But yeah, like, and eventually those situations will pop up. I'm just thinking of another one. It's like kind of being in a theme park almost. Joy is like, you'll go through periods where you're going from ride to ride and getting straight on, and then all of a sudden you'll go to the next 4 rides and have to wait in line. Sometimes it just takes a little more time. Just takes a little patience. Takes a little time. Dear Evan Hansen, folks. Right there.
And I tell you, it took me a moment to learn that whole patience thing. I am not a patient.
No. I'm like, cool, this isn't working for me. Next, thank you.
And I'm literally and it makes me laugh, actually.
Spread the word, Emily. Thanks, love.
Hello, hairdresser. How you doing? There's one person in particular, and he likes to call me out and not being patient. I'm like, come on, then. Tell me what it is, then. Come on, what's next? And he's like, hold on. Because the thing is, sometimes if you try to rush a situation, if you try to rush a situation, the detail goes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like all the little pieces, you know, I've been on for too long. All the little pieces in between definitely start to just kind of, you miss them.
Yeah.
And sometimes the information and the growth is in the detail.
Yeah. It's
never about winning that race. You're not trying to just run.
Yeah.
Sometimes a nice jog.
Yeah.
Just go on at a nice pace. Look around you, see what's happening, take it in, but keep going forward. Look at that bush and go, yo, that bush is a bush of life. Keep running, keep running. Ah, that gate is open. Something is coming. Keep running, keep running, keep running. Rather than you just going, you just miss everything. Everything looks like a blur. Then you get to a point and go, how do I get here? How did I get here?
Yeah. How do I get out of here? Like, why am I here?
If you need the exit, you're like, I ran so fast I missed it. The exit was probably 2 steps away, but you just kept going.
Yeah.
Looking like a steam train. Slow down.
But like, that's 100% it. Like, life is literally a highway, and there's hundreds of exits you can take to experience all different types of things. Don't be afraid to take the exit. It's not all about the destination that you've got in mind. It's about the journey, folks.
Literally.
I feel like this is just like a cliche little, we're just going to throw everything at you guys until something sticks. Like, let's be real.
Just go with it, guys. I mean, if anyone wants to take any sound bites, please let me know. Welcome to my little cat. Because at the moment, I'm just talking to you. Got me cherry bakewell green tea. Having a lovely time.
My tea has a 4% alcohol percentage.
Cheers.
You know,
cheers to you, my friend. Cheers to you.
Sometimes you just need to diffuse a little.
Oh my! I mean, you know, different time zones, babe. So you kind of have the upper hand.
Hey, as they say, it's midday somewhere in the world, and it's 7:30 p.m. So never be afraid, guys. Never be afraid.
Oh my! But yeah. Hello, darkness, child. How you doing? Yeah. I think, I mean, we started this as a joy thing, but life, man, life is, I always say this to a lot of my students, I'm like, life is for the living, y'all.
Yeah.
Live.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down, but you know what? It's not about how many times you fall down, it's how many times you get back up.
100%.
Find strength in that.
Yeah.
And keep moving forward. It's just it's one of those things, keep moving forward. Just don't miss what's around you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm just like.
But I think that's the thing. Like tying it back into joy. Like, if you're running that race at 100 miles an hour, you're not going to experience like we said. You're not going to experience that. You're going to be like, yay, I won the race, but you're not going to be like, I got to the end, but look what I discovered. Like, cool. I want to go back down that track, or what would happen if I tried this now, or cool, I picked up this skill along the way, or like sometimes, like I'm literally sitting here, guys, I've done that many qualifications and things that I have skills that I will never use again in my life. Like,
but you got
I kid you not, like, I'm a qualified makeup artist, I'm a qualified journalist, hey girl, yeah, I got you. Qualified makeup artist, journalist, dancer, technician, sound producer. What else have I done?
Oh, Lord. So when I go on tour, when I finally make it as a superstar, you gonna crown me.
I've got my bag packed, Shaq, so I'm good to go. Let's go.
That's incredible. Like, I just sometimes just adding all these different things to your belt is just one thing that just kind of it's a big thing. Like, oh, Josh, y'all know.
And just to cap it off, I'm studying marketing and communications right now, just to add another one to the belt. Like,
oh baby, skincare and business. I'll see you out there.
Hey.
But it's so true. Like, there's so many things that people are picking up right now that we're all just kind of just growing. Do you know what I mean? Like, self-development is a beautiful thing. It is 100%. A beautiful thing. I mean,
and sometimes you'll learn things that you just hate. And you're like, why am I doing this? Just jump online and literally look at free courses, guys. Like, that is the best thing you can ever do. Like, taste some things. Like, if you're like, cool, I want to get into childcare, there's free childcare courses out there. See if you'll like it before you go and spend thousands of dollars on it.
Yeah.
But you might pick up those skills that are essential to you and their life skills that you're going to run from.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things where, you know, when I will never forget this. When I was at school, people just saw me as the performer. They didn't think I was clever. So, which is their own business, really, their fault, because I am actually. But I am thrilled to see that. I'm starting to get like assessment scores back and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm thrilled for myself because, you know, like, your girl's doing good, yeah? Like,
Yeah.
taking it off really well. And I'm just kind of like, you know, these are just different steps. You know, you haven't kind of like lost it. It's just there. Yeah. It's there. You just need something to stimulate it and move and focus it, which it has. And I think that's just a beautiful thing in itself.
100%. And like, take joy from proving those people wrong. Like, if you don't sit in that moment for a second and you're like, look at me now. Like, look, yeah.
It literally is like sip the tea with the little pinky up. Like,
you'll never get a better feeling in life than someone that has cut you out of theirs than trying to reconnect with yours once you're in a better place. That is the best feeling in the world. You're like, cool. You want to be friends with me now? No, sorry. You jumped off the train, sis.
And the thing is, that train was in the middle of the desert, so you lost now, B. Sorry.
Yeah.
And that is the thing. That is like, to me, I'm just like, it makes me laugh because, you know, the beautiful thing that's come out of quarantine and another joy that I found is connecting and reconnecting with people that I haven't spoken to for ages.
Yeah.
And I said this about some of my friends from college, even. You know, some of us were in different groups, but then, you know, over this last few months, we've reached out to each other, and you know, there's a sense of support and a sense of love that we're like, where was this when we were younger?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe we could have been real tight come now, but you know, whatever things were in the way or whatever happened, but now coming to this point, there's this growth that everyone's done individually. Exactly. That makes sense as to why we connect now.
Yeah, 100%. And like, I was in the opposite situation where, like, personally, the situation I was in was very supportive. Everyone was on everyone's side. But now I've been away from the situation, the support's vanished. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. All right. So it's very much understanding that certain situations don't work for everybody, and that what you find you need won't be the same as everybody else, and everybody is a different point in life. Like, you're going to align with people that are on the same track until the next exit. You've just got to ride that out until they go. And
everyone's perspective is different. I'm a big talker of this as well. Like, I was talking to someone, and I was like, you look at things like you're looking out a window. I'm looking out through the peephole here. You know, it's a perspective is such a different thing. We could all be in the same spot. We could all technically be in a similar situation. Hence, and take note of the fact that I'm saying similar. I find it very difficult for people to go, yeah, same. I've been in that same situation. No, you ain't. Because whatever that people are responding off of, are you responding like that? Or, you know, are you feeling exactly what they're feeling? Because they could be like, oh, yeah, I'm just confused. Yeah, but what element of confused are you? Are you so confused that you don't know from A to B? Or you forgot your numbers 1 to 10? Like, what kind of confused are you for you to go, yeah, same. I've been in that same situation. I can't stand it. Just go, yo, I've been in a similar situation.
Yeah.
This is how I looked at it. And this is why I get very finicky, very picky with people giving very, I'm going to say, strict advice.
Yeah.
Unless people are trained, which I am not. Unless people are trained into that kind of thing, to give people strict advice when you are not that person. Every individual is different. Every individual is reacting to things differently. And whoever they are getting their reaction against is different from whoever you're in a situation with yourself.
Yeah.
No two situations are the same. So when people go, and I've had it myself, and there's someone's gone, yeah, but you know, what you're doing is really hard, and so don't you just think you should just give up now? For what? Why?
Yeah.
Oh, because you know I've been exactly in that situation. And no, you ain't. You don't know my story.
No.
And if you don't know my story, how can you write a sequel? No, babe, write your own book. And
Yeah.
I'll write mine.
Yeah.
This is not Black Panther 2. Okay? This is Shakana's Life 1. Chapter what? 26. Hashtag turning 27 this year. Hashtag getting closer to 30.
Why does age always come up in these things, guys? We've done it again. We managed to bring age into the topic. That's right, Shaq. You're now in charge of texting Jen and telling her she's 31 after this. Congratulations. I was going to do it, but it's on you.
Oh my gosh, bless her. I sent her a little letterbox cake today. She sent me a message.
Oh.
Happy birthday, Jen, if you finally see this. And happy birthday to Freya too. It's just a bit crazy.
Yeah.
You know, just like trying to, you know, you can always advise, but you can't, you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know. And I'm a stickler, even for people who take my class in particular. I'm like, look, you're all individuals. Your beauty and your joy lies within that. No one else can be you. And you know how people get their best friends and they're like, we dress the same, we act the same, we talk the same. No, you don't. No, you don't. Your intentions may be similar. I find it very hard to say the same. Your intentions may be similar, but your actions are different.
Yeah.
Because sometimes your intentions are driven by your actions are driven by your intentions. So one day you could be feeling low as anything, but because your best mate is like, hey girl, how's it going? Are you good? Are you good? And you're like, yeah, I'm good. Your good is coming from a place of like, this is energy.
It's almost like a reflex, yeah.
And I'm like, baby, no, it's okay. So if your friend is being hyper being Harry, sometimes you just need to be chillax Chelsea, okay? Sometimes it's fine, because sometimes the two work with each other really nicely.
Yeah.
They become more compatible than you think.
Yeah.
I just keeping communication open with your friends and kind of that deeper understanding. And I find it difficult to say friends. I say friends, have friends, just because I'm very particular. And you know, for so long, I don't like people. I don't like people. Which, you know, some people don't have my time or energy at all. However, if you're a nice person, then I have time for you. And it's just one of those things. I was just like, you know, we get to a point now, and I'm like, oh, my close circle though.
Oh, 100%.
My close circle.
I learned that lesson the hard way, and now I'm like, oh, boy, am I glad that, like,
sometimes
I jump out of the airplane, folks. You just got to leave everybody on board to crash. You just got to get out of there.
That's it, baby. Jump out with that parachute. With a big massive on the top.
There's going to be so many photos made of this Shaka of us jumping out of airplanes without parachutes now.
God. And I just love it that, like, I was saying actually to one of my best friends, Simone. She's a brilliant mum. Oh my gosh, she's been through a lot. She's actually just started a blog about it. She's been through a lot. She had a real preemie baby, and she's had this whole journey. She's a brilliant mum. And I was then talking to another friend who's also a mum, and I was like, my circle right now, it makes sense as to why we're friends. And I think that's when you know you've got your winning circle. Yeah. You know, like, you're all doing things that are so different, but you're winning in your own ways. But you're all winning around the same time. And, like, you know, winning isn't a fact of, I've got the most money. It's not, you know, it's not about, like, I've come this far. No.
Yeah.
It's about the journey of the fact that you guys understand growth to be a positive thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I was saying to one of my old school friends who we reconnected through my mother. Yeah. And we were literally just like, look how far we've come. We're not even looking at our final destinations. We're like, look at the lives we've lived. We've literally had to, like, go back and go, look at the lives we've lived. And from where we left off and we weren't talking anymore to where we are now, it's a marvelous thing. It's a marvelous thing. And personal growth and self-development, and there's a new wave of confidence in that, because you feel more you. And you know, this isn't about trying to live up to other people's expectations, because I'm done tired of that. I'm done tired of that. You know, I'm at a point where kind of like I just think how I think, and again, as long as you're not hurting nobody, have your, you know, we can have opinions. Don't be wrong, because if we all start to think the same, then this would be a very bland world, and I can't deal with that already. So, you know, opinions bring the colour to this world, and I just think embrace that.
Yeah.
Let it kind of light up a path for you, and you know, people will ask, you know, what do you think you'll do? And actually, you know what it reminds me of? You know those meme pictures where they're like split into four. It's like what your friends think, what your parents think, what you actually think.
Yeah.
This is the box that's important. What you actually think is important. What you actually think you should be, how you should act, how you should look. That's not you. That ain't looking like. And that is where your joy lies. Because when you can settle in you for you, rather than going, yo, my friend said I'd be this, so you know, I've got to be like this. I've got a friend in particular who for so long was kind of like stuck in this ongoing cycle of people going, yo, you're just unlucky, dude. You're unlucky. You know, he's like, what was one thing in particular that really wound me up? Someone like his friends were like, look, you it was something I cannot remember, but it's something from my son I can't remember. And I was like, why are you going off of what your friends think you are?
Yeah.
That's their thoughts. No one's thoughts should impact you but your own.
100%. And like for a long time, I sat in that spot where I would fit into other people's lives. Like I'd adjust myself to kind of be what I needed to for that situation. And that's what led me to having a full breakdown on my bedroom floor 2 years ago. And now I'm like, now I know, okay, cool. I have the ability, but I need to know how to harness it for the right people, but also for the right reason. Like, cool, I can, like, say the podcast, for example, I can create that connection straight off the bat and be like, cool, open your life to me. Like, that's what, I don't need to be like, cool, now we're brother and sister. It's, well, oh, man. Hindsight, guys, you will hear hindsight so much in your life. Hindsight is literally the best thing in the world, and you will never understand it until later. It's the best and the worst thing, because it makes you realize how stupid you were. But also what you need to do to learn from that situation.
Absolutely. You know, believe in yourself. You know, never let that dwindle. Like, sometimes you have times, thanks, Saf. You know, never. Yeah, I say never is very hard. Saying never is easier said than done. But try. I'll say try. Try to always find your connections to why believing in yourself.
Yeah.
You know, if you have to go, remind yourself, why am I doing this? What am I doing this for? What do I get out of this? Sometimes it is going through your who, what, when, where's, why's. Yeah. Sometimes you need to, just so you can go, even in those times where you're like, what is going on? You can go, right, this is my statement. This right now is your personal statement. Who am I? Right, I'm Shaka right now. Where am I? I'm sat in my living room.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Right now we're talking. What am I getting from this? Communication. Yeah. Sometimes it's little things like that which brings so much joy, because there's just so much about it. It's like when I'm teaching Shaka Squad Leveling Up 101, you guys know for a fact that it literally is harnessing that beauty that we all have within, and just letting it flourish. Anyone who's got me on my skincare page, that's a big phrase that I use: flourish and shine, glow on. You know, and going back to my diamond reference, brush it off, brush that dirt off. You're a beautiful piece of art.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's almost like, you know, when people, you know, you see those, it reminds me of like those, when people are like checking diamonds in one of those high-end films, and they've got the little brush and the little microscope. It's cool, B. Keep brushing yourself and look through that microscope going, right, what do I need to do now? Yeah, finesse yourself.
Yeah.
Finessing takes time. It's like
Yeah.
making a fabulous glass of wine. It takes time. And that's okay. Plus, your girl likes wine. So, Asti, really. Asti for the MCs. Asti is the one. But yeah, truly, it is all about just delving into that and not being afraid to go. It's not being afraid to go, okay. Do you know what I mean? And it's not a fact of going, yeah, I'm okay. It's about you going, okay. ... Leave your ... so you can keep writing. This is why I say, don't say the word can't. Call it a challenge. Because a challenge means something for you to conquer. Like you on Total Ninja Warrior #2. Like, face that challenge. Sometimes you may fall into the water. That's cool. Get back up, baby. Start that race again.
100%. And as soon as you say to a situation you can't, you never will. Because as soon as you tick that box, it's done. There's no... Yeah. So always think, I don't think I can. And prove yourself wrong.
Yeah.
Like, that's... Like, I don't know if I can, but I'm going to try. Like, just
and
do
those
it.
are operative words. If and try.
Yeah.
If can be flipped. If can be taken out. You know what I mean? It's just like, if I could only, sure. If you could only, but just imagine when you can.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing. And I used to say to a specific friend of mine, he was like, he'd be like, look, I'll try and do this. I say, why do you keep saying you'll try? If you want to, you will.
Yeah.
And trying is just the first step. As soon as you start trying, chances are you'll do it.
Yeah.
You're working on it. You're doing it. You're being active with your situation. Just for that. Like sometimes, you know, I've got this thing at the moment where I'm like, you know, I can see people like they're joining the 5 a.m. club, so they're going out for their 5K runs and that. I would love to do that. I'm not gonna, but I would love to. But my thing right now is just getting up. You know what I mean? Like, I'm such a night owl, so I need to. I'm in this process of like trying to switch my mind frame and how I go to sleep because my creative mind comes alive at night.
Yeah, I'm the same.
So I'm just like, okay, how do we go around switching this around? And it's simple things like setting my phone alarm done. That like my bed is like a upper bed, it's like a ceiling bed. So like it's about me setting my alarm down there. I need to get up to turn that off. The other day I was like, I'll leave my iPad down and I'll just put my alarm there. That was the worst thing because I literally went, Siri, turn the alarm off. And it shut off. And it just defeats the purpose. Defeats the purpose. But it's little things like that, you know. I was just like, ooh, 10 a.m. And actually, the last few times that you and Jen have been on, I've managed to catch it, which means something's happening. Yo, your girl's not perfect. Sometimes your girl's not getting up to 11. Well, my alarm technically goes off at the moment at 9:25. But today I woke up at 8:45, so I'm talking that progress. Okay?
Hey.
Progress.
In a couple of months, we'll be at 5 a.m. Shaq, you're good.
In what world? I will never forget us getting ready for, I think it was the first BBC interview that me and the girls did all together. And they were
TV
like,
interviews,
girls,
3 a.m. wake ups, 4 a.m. makeup, 5 a.m. hair, 6 a.m. walkthrough. Let's go.
And then I get into this TV studio and they're like, let's add some foundation. I said, don't touch my face. You know when you're just not awake and you just don't want people in your space? And she's like, I've got this powder for you. Move. Obviously, I wasn't that rude, but I was just like, it's okay. I'm powdered. I was like, if anything, now blot. Because I couldn't be bothered. I was like, please. That is the earliest. Guys, I don't do early well. I mean, if I'm about to go on a plane and go on holiday, because I can see where my journey's going. But to get up and think, let me go for a run. Some people, that's great. For me, you know Phoebe Buffet? When she goes out for the run? I think I'm like a borderline between that. I don't know what else. But I'm definitely kind of like verging on that edge. Like, the thing is, I used to be a really good sprinter at school. Like, I say sprinter, doesn't sprint, long distance runner. So I used to do 400 and 800 at school.
Yeah.
I think about it now, I'm like, oh my gosh.
I used to do all of them. So I used to be a sprinter and long distance. And now I'm like, man, I don't think I could run 800 meters without freaking stopping in a bar or two in between. Let's be real.
Like, it's my journey.
Give me liquid courage and I'm there.
Embracing the surroundings.
Yeah.
That's what we were doing. We were embracing the surroundings. We were making sure we had fun whilst we jogged. That's it. Go with that. I'm gonna back you up on that story.
Yeah, 100%. You've got to get the refreshment along the way.
Look, ain't that the truth?
Ugh.
But this is the beautiful thing about it, you know. We just keep doing things, and we find our way. We find our things. We find what makes us us, and that's
the
what
meaning. It's the circle of life.
That's
guys.
it, baby.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I understood that, but yes.
Babes, I tell you, when I was like being on Lion King was one of my favorite jobs in terms of learning the language, man. Some of it definitely has left my mind, but in terms of the show and what I learned, there's one woman in particular. Her name's Nombolelo. She's from South Africa. She's literally like my South African mother. She was great. She looked after me and my friend Marika, who's from Japan. We were both the youngest in the company, and she taught us so much. And the way they sing and harmonize, oh my gosh, lessons I will never ever want to lose in my life. They will just yeah man. Like, guys, I've got to say, any experience that you have that brings you joy and gives you something to remember, hold it.
Yeah.
Hold it. You may not always remember it in its entirety, but remember how it made you feel. Remember what you learned. Yeah. In terms of what you learned. Okay, I'm learning something new. You have the ability to learn a new language. Cool. You may not be able to, like, at the moment, I'm on and off and trying to learn German. It's hard, y'all.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to give me any German lessons, please let me know.
If anyone wants to give me any language lessons, I'm open. Because I cannot speak
my preferred airline.
Anything. Let's just go. I don't think that's a safe graphic to make. Let's not jinx ourselves on that one. So just leave that one be, because we don't want to put that into the universe.
But it's just just finding your joy is all about just taking ownership.
Oh yes, Lucy. Spot on. Shaq, you need to give me Geordie lessons.
Have you heard me trying to do accents? No. Have you heard?
No, I want to though.
Oh my god. Me and Jen did this on a live like a few months ago. And she was like, people are like, she can't try this. Obviously Jen is like queen of accents.
Yeah.
I was just like,
what?
It was a mess. It was a mess. I saw a spotlight thing yesterday for someone to play 16 for something like a Liverpoolian thing. So I spent like about a good 10 minutes like, Liverpool, yeah, Liverpool, and I was like, how can I make this go further than me just saying the word Liverpool?
Guys, guess what? That is time. We've got a minute remaining. We've made it. Thank you, Shaka, for coming and hanging out with us this week. Really, really appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure, my darling. It's so lovely to see your face again.
Guys, we are back next week with Jen on Friday, which is my birthday in the Queendom. So we're going to be celebrating on Friday. I've got a ton of stuff coming out. I've got a little project going with Brianni from the Bliss 1.0 cast. Jen on Friday. We've got Amelia's episode coming out on that Saturday. We've got Jazz Shen on the podcast this week. Life is good, guys. So just keep loving one. Shaka, do you have anything to plug? You've got 35 seconds.
Guys, stay blessed, stay beautiful, number one. But also, find your joy, be happy, and embrace that. Let your light shine, flourish, and shine. Sparkle on.
That's it. We're going to end it on that note. We'll see you next week, guys. Friday, 10:30, right here with Jen to celebrate my 1-year anniversary in the Queendom. Bye. See you later.
See ya.